Hey guys, welcome back, and thank you as always for joining me. I had a couple people in my last video notice that I seemed a little bit more brief in that last video, and that will probably be the case moving forward as I push to get this thing done. So it's not that I don't care, it's just I want to get this thing out of here. Working conditions are quickly deteriorating here in the garage. It is quite a bit colder out here than it has been. The high outside today is 58 degrees. And my garage is not heated. I've got a little space heater right there that hopefully will take some of the edge off, but I've got to keep the garage door closed, so lighting isn't as good, and it just feels a little bit more claustrophobic in my workspace. So today is going to be weld and paint day for the rear of the vehicle. It's all set up completely, a lot of tack welds on the axle and the truss and everything, so I need to pull all of that out of there, disassemble everything, and get everything, all the welds finalized, and just get this rear end of the vehicle completely done and ready to go down the road. Alright, there we go. The axle is out and on jack stands. Man, let me tell you, that axle is way heavier than you could ever imagine it is if you've never handled one of these big axles before. It weighs way more than is humanly possible to lift, so it's kind of a scary operation, really. Really surprising how heavy it is. But now that it's out, let's get this sucker welded up. Alright guys, obviously I didn't record all of my welding on the axle, but here it is, it's all done. Everything is welded on completely, not coming off. Man, it sure looks a lot different now than it did when it came off the Ford truck that it was on in the junkyard. Big changes. So now I've basically got a lot of paint prep to do on the axle, and then also in here I need to get these wheel wells and everything in here all painted up. So a lot of painting coming up. So this speed sensor hole on the axle has been open this entire time. The axle didn't come with anything in there, so I went and picked up a speed sensor just to plug that up. I'm not actually going to use this as a speed sensor. It would never work anyways. But it plugs this hole up and keeps the water and dirt and stuff out. So that's what I'm going to use it for. And of course, before painting anything, I'm going to wipe it down with this wax and grease remover. So while I wait for that paint to dry, I'm going to relocate this fuel pump control module that used to be back here on the frame. I'm going to put it up right here into this old spring bucket That'll be a perfect place for it, up and out of the way. There we go, almost like it was meant to be. Now I've just got to finish up a little bit of welding that I didn't do because this is on the bottom of the frame and the axle was in the way. So I'm going to wrap that up right now. Gosh. Alright guys, well, I'm having a bit of a hard time here. I just set my hand on fire. That was because I got a little bit of that wax and grease remover on my welding glove, and it turns out that stuff is very flammable. And then I thought my welding helmet battery was going dead, but it looks like maybe my welding helmet, or at least the shade part of it's gone dead. I don't know if you can see this if I do this. It, instead of going dark, it flashes. And that's kind of a bummer when you're trying to weld, because that hurts your eyes. That's Harbor Freight's top of the line welding helmet. It's been great up until now, so who knows, maybe it'll start working again tomorrow. In the meantime, I'm gonna get these wheel wells and shock towers and frame all painted up. Alright, it's all painted up under here. It's black. Nothing too fancy. I didn't paint this part yet because I haven't welded that all the way on yet. And I can't weld because my helmet's broken. And it's kind of late at night, so I can't go get another one. So on the axle, I used steel paint once again, except I didn't use black. On this one I used steel gray. It only comes in 2 colors. But anyways, I really like the steel gray color. And actually, this gray color is going to be one of the primary colors under the vehicle. Instead of painting the axles black and some of the other things black, I'm going to go with this gray color. And then things like the differential cover and my links are going to be a totally different color, a contrasting color, which you'll see in the next video. So I'm working my way down to the end of the list here, getting this huge project done. One of my last major things is all this PSC full hydro steering stuff. I've got to figure out how to get it all into the vehicle and working. Lots of hoses and connections and all kinds of things that connect to the steering ram. But yeah, I'll have that figured out real soon. And there's nothing like waiting for paint to dry. It's all still pretty wet, and it's not helped by the fact that it's kind of cool out here in the garage. So given that and my time constraints, I'm gonna have to end this one here, guys. Yeah, I'll get this rear end back under there and my coilovers all set up and everything under there. You'll see that done next time, and then hopefully we'll get to be diving into the PSC steering, and you'll get to see all that on Thursday. So thanks for joining me on this one. I really appreciate it as always, guys. Thanks for following this build, and again, we will see you on Thursday.